both these guys on the soft compounded tyre, and they are charging. They're only now a second off the top two, and they will be quicker for the next couple of laps until those tyres fall off a little bit. So we've gone from a two-way scrap to the lead for a four-way scrap. This is going to be an amazing last few laps.
There's 5 laps to remain, and it is going to be very exciting, as you say. So 4 drivers scrapping for the lead, 2 on fresher medium compounded tyres, certainly, but are they going to be slower? Look at how close the closing speed was between Inestrosa and Miyazono there. What Miyazono and Inestrosa need to do here is not squabble too much amongst one another, try and kind of work together to close that gap down. But Inestrosa is going to try for the podium position. Side by side they go into 130R. The Porsche is now ahead. Inestrosa, the Chilean, is into 3rd place. Is Miyazono going to retaliate into the chicane? Has a bit of a little look, but doesn't quite think about making the move.
That Lamborghini is a little bit closer than it was before, and I think it's got a bit better cornering speed, that Lambo. So that mid-corner, that mid-engine layout there, just that bit of rotation at the midpoint of the corner, I think, than the car in front. But it just seems that on traction zones, that's where the Mazda's putting away a little bit. Here is Inestrosa coming through the S's, again having just to wrestle the car through there. But you can see just as the gap visually coming down as they go through the corner, those soft tyres.
That gap is closer than it's ever been before. 4 drivers running nose to tail, 3.5 laps remaining here at Suzuka, and it's anybody's guess as to who's going to take the win in round 1 of the World Series here.
Yeah, all aboard the rotary train here at Suzuka. Your conductor, Ryota Kokubun, at the top, leading Troncoso, leading Inestrosa, leading Miyazono. 1, 2, 3, 4, all in your frame, coming now down the back straight. Inestrosa in the draft with the Lamborghini in front now. Inestrosa on that soft compounded tyre. He's going to have better cornering, better braking, better traction. Where's he going to use that? Let's see. Coming through this left-hander. Is it flat for Inestrosa? No, it's a big lift through there and a downshift, but look at the difference in cornering speed. He's gaining on the cars in front, not quite close enough. Looks like he has to go for a late lunge there. He was almost caught out by the Lamborghini being so slow into there. That's going to actually open it up now to attack from Miyazono behind, but we know that poor little Subaru down the straight is going to be hanging on for dear life, so probably not under threat into T1.
Well, here we go then, down that start-finish straight. Miyazono, as you said, that gap is increasing between them. All of these drivers have got the advantage of the slipstream aside from Kokubun in front. Here comes Troncoso having a look into the first turn, not quite able to make a move stick, and now he's going to have to watch his mirrors. Yes, Ben, that's given a tiny bit of daylight for Ryota Kokubun, just have a little bit of breathing space, but look at how much more corner speed Troncoso and Inestrosa have got, who are challenging very close behind. And this, of course, is where we saw Inestrosa losing that position on the opening lap, coming through the final series of corners, and now he could be ready to take revenge as they come through in towards the Degners. Inestrosa goes defensive into the hairpin, puts him on the back foot. Here comes Miyazono with a send down the inside. That's a late move there from the Japanese driver. He runs side by side with Inestrosa in towards the right-hander and doesn't quite able to make the move stick, and now it sits as it was as they come in towards the spoon curve.
He gave it back, Tom. I think he knew the contact was a little bit cheeky. Short shifted there, and Inestrosa back through, so nice sportsmanlike behaviour there from our triple world champion, riding on board still there with that Subaru. And Troncoso, he set that all up himself for the S's. He was too fast for the S's, and that basically disturbed his rhythm all the way down to the hairpin. It just shows you how quick and competitive this is here in this series. One mistake and you just open yourself up to attack. We're still riding with Takuma Miyazono there as the front two are about as close as they have been so far. Will the Lamborghini go for a move? Kokubun has to go defensive, and he's going to try and go around the long way around. He does. Troncoso all the way around the outside there of Kokubun, who's forced wide, and Inestrosa follows him through, and Miyazono. So Kokubun loses 3 places in one corner there, and will Inestrosa go for the inside? He does. He goes on the inside, coming down a T1. Troncoso there, and he lets him by. That's interesting. So I think that he can't compete with him right now, and Inestrosa, that's worked out well for him, hasn't it?
Yeah, that Porsche has always been quick at a straight line, and Kokubun is really wide through that first series of corners, but he's able to hold the outside line and get ahead of Takuma Miyazono. That straight line speed disadvantage is really hampering Subaru here, because it's just not enough for them to be able to hang on. The hazards flashing there for Ryota Kokubun as they go through into the S-bends there. Riding on board we are here with Takuma Miyazono, so he now knows that he's got to make up his time through these corners. He's got to have more grip if he's going to try and challenge for the podium.
Penultimate lap now, and this is a time where you kind of have to show your hand. What can you do? And Miyazono rapidly running out of time. We come through the S's now, and as you said before, Tom, it's very much one at a time through here, unless you've got a big tyre advantage, which they won't now. Those soft and mediums will be feeling quite similar at this point. The soft would have definitely worn down, and we're just seeing how much Miyazono is having to drive to the car in front, having to wait as we come through this right hand. And now set yourself up very nicely for this Dunlop curve. Chuck the car to the inside, let it sit, and then heavy on the throttle. Very, very easy to run wide there, catch a bit of grass and beat yourself out in the wall. But of course, none of these guys will do that. They're far better than we are at home. Here is Troncoso. Still has a chance here. He is a little bit slow on that medium compounder tyre, but definitely not out, and not that much slower.
Oh, look at that wiggle there from Takuma Miyazono coming through the second deck there. He's really, really on the ragged edge.
Really now, it's all or nothing. Last lap, do or die.
So through the right-hander they go, and then into the left. Very close indeed. Takuma Miyazono needs to make up that time on the brakes. Look at Kokeman, though. He's got a good run on Troncoso, who's been a bit out of sorts in these first few corners, and that's put him on the back foot. Look at that slide he had going through there as well. He's just looking a bit on edge here.
He is really getting the most he can out of those medium Michelin tyres. They're definitely worn down. They're still working well, but he's having to really hustle it, and it's great to watch. Here is Ryota Kokeman now. He has definitely closed up, hasn't he, Tom? Right on the rear wing now of Troncoso. Will he go for a move into the hairpin? One of the last chances to have a stick. Will he have a go? No, he doesn't. Decides to wait for now. He might try moving to spoon using the draft.
Sensible there from Manuel Troncoso and also Ryota Kokeman, just to keep things on the straight and narrow, to not lose too much time and possibly allow the opportunity that Takuma Miyazono has been looking for. So through the long right-hander, then they're going to flick it left into spoon, and it's going to be down the back straight and into 130R before the chicane, where surely we're going to see the opportunities presenting themselves. Angel Enestrosa, meanwhile, has been able to pull out an 0.8 of a second advantage on this final lap. That is the biggest that gap has been throughout the entirety of these last couple of laps, and he surely has got this one sewn up. So it's all about the battle then for second position. Down the back straight we go, in towards 130R. Enestrosa will lead the field through, followed by Troncoso, followed by Ryota Kokeman. Then in towards the chicane we go. Troncoso onto the curb, onto the outside, and spins it round. That's a disaster for Manuel Troncoso. He spins it out of second place, goes tumbling down the order, hands it on a plate to Ryota Kokeman then. So it's Angel Enestrosa who wins round one of the 2021 Manufacturers World Series, ahead of Kokeman, ahead of Miyazono. Two Japanese drivers on the podium, and Manuel Troncoso then will come over the line down in P6. What a disaster for the American.